Well, friends, I hate to say it, we all got catfished in broad daylight on LinkedIn, and it worked shockingly well. Anna Goldberg, who built a massive network, got tons of engagement, and was tagged in posts all over the MSP and IT channel, wasn't real. Probably, allegedly. Maybe AI, maybe a sock puppet, maybe a very, very creative human-driven catfishing account, but either way, almost certainly not who we thought. If you didn't already catch Jason Ferguson's write-up, I'll link to it in this post. He did a great job putting together a bunch of information he compiled from a variety of sources all around the channel. And you read through it, I don't disagree with anything said there. But here's the thing. I don't think the fact that this was probably AI tricking us is the real problem. The real problem is why we fell for it. This wasn't some hyper-advanced AI chatbot dropping deep philosophical takes on cybersecurity. It was a carefully engineered persona designed to get engagement from the exact type of people who work in the MSP and IT channel. This one played the game perfectly, industry-relevant posts, just the right amount of "I'm new here, please notice me" energy, and a sprinkle of engagement bait questions. And let's be real, even I tagged this account early on. Why? Because I knew the engagement algorithm would reward it, and I wasn't alone. So why did so many of us fall for this? Let's break it down. Why do people fall for catfishing in general? Whether it's on LinkedIn, dating apps, Nigerian prince email scams, the mechanics are exactly the same. According to research done by people way smarter than me with PhDs in psychology on catfishing, people fall for online deception because of generally three key factors. Emotional vulnerability. We engage with posts that resonate with us. If someone seems relatable, humble, or shares struggles we've had, we want to support them. And I want you to put a pin in that for a minute. Social validation loops. This is the one that got me. If everyone else is engaging, it must be legit, right? We don't want to be the only one calling BS. We don't want to be left out, especially if trusted peers are interacting. Keep a pin in that one. And then lastly, the halo effect. Let's be honest. Anna's persona fit a very specific LinkedIn archetype. The friendly, attractive, slightly shy, but seemingly knowledgeable professional starting their career. It makes people want to believe them. And that type of persona is engineered to hit a certain type of person. Keep a pin in that. IT guys, men in the channel, we fell for the playbook, hook, line, and sinker. The same psychological tricks that work on dating sites and phishing scams worked here. But here's where it gets really clever. This persona didn't just play into what men in IT want to engage with. It hit on themes that resonated with women in the industry. This is why this was so insidious. Think about it. The "I'm new here, I don't know if I belong in IT" messaging, that wasn't just a play for male attention. That was crafted to draw on women who have felt the exact same struggle. Women in IT know what it's like to feel outnumbered, to feel like they have to prove themselves. So when they see another woman being vulnerable, especially about feeling unsure of her place, they step up, they encourage, and they engage, because that's what we should do in those situations. And that's why this persona was so effective. It wasn't just playing one angle, it was engineered to pull in everyone. So here's really the spicy part. The problem here is not AI. The problem isn't even fake people. The problem is we are way, way, way too easy to manipulate. This was social engineering 101, and it worked because the LinkedIn algorithm engagement rewards it. People didn't just accept this persona, they boosted it, they helped it grow. And here's the really uncomfortable question: how many more of these are out here? And this is why I said earlier to put a pin in those three reasons, because all of you fell victim to at least one, if not all of them. And think about that just for a moment, if you would. The fact that this was likely AI is actually irrelevant. If this was an actual person behind it the entire time with just random pictures they grabbed, if this was actually a real person with real pictures who was just manipulating everybody, it's totally irrelevant whether or not the content or the image was created by AI, because the way that we were all engineered to interact does not rely on AI. It relies on understanding people. That emotional validation and vulnerability, A lot of the posts that this person did, or this character did initially, were posts that struck an emotional vulnerability chord. I know that hits a lot of you. I know there's a lot of business owners in this space that look at new and upcoming talent with a soft heart. And there's a lot of people who've struggled to get where they are in this industry that see other people in that same area struggling and want to help them. The social validation, that's the one that got me, right? I knew right away that for lack of a better way to say this, an attractive person interested in IT who's heavily engaging on social media, if I engage with them, my stuff will get a benefit and a boost from their engagement. And then there's the halo effect. And this one's really hard to talk about without this sounding non-politically correct. So I'm really trying to dance a fine line here. We cannot underemphasize the fact that the pictures used in this account were from a person, a representation of a person that most of us would agree fit the general stereotype of being attractive. This is not about gender. This is not about attractive women or attractive men. This is this idea that we tend to trust an attractive looking persona more, especially if that persona behaves the way we assume with our stereotypes an attractive looking persona that looks like that should behave. It's just that idea of something that is visually pleasing almost universally is used as basically a non sequitur to develop trust and break down your walls, and it worked spectacularly on all of us. What's the takeaway? How do we avoid getting channel catfished again? And I'm going to start off with saying that this will surprise some of you. It is not get rid of AI and burn down AI. AI was a tool used here. AI is not the reason this happened. This could have been done just as easily without AI, and it has been done for hundreds and hundreds of years without any form of AI. AI is not the villain this time. We need to first interrogate engagement baiting posts. Is it offering value or just fishing for likes? And sometimes it is just fishing for likes. I occasionally post stuff just fishing for likes. Some of you post stuff just fishing for likes. You need to be able to tell the difference. Was this done just to get attention, or was this post done to add value? Somebody who's constantly doing stuff to get attention but not actually adding value, we need to be more critical of that. We need to be skeptical of personas that seem too perfect. Too perfect, not necessarily because they've climbed Mount Everest, but too perfect in that it is just too dialed in to speak exactly to you that quickly, with no background, with nothing to support it. We need to make sure that the persona or the person actually engages in real conversation. This one, I do think there was a human behind the keyboard because some of us talked to her and it did seem like real convo. But the fact is, no one any of us knew had ever met this person. Despite their claims to have attended trade shows and been around the channel, no one actually knew anyone that knew this person. That should be a bit of a red flag, as well as not being willing to get on camera, not having other photos, just none of the things that you would expect to support this being an actual human were there. And then lastly, we need to be careful of, and I was guilty of this as well, don't just follow the herd. If someone is suddenly everywhere without a clear reason, question it. We are not wired as humans to think this way. We are wired, we're not herd animals, but we are wired to generally look at status quo and what is working and replicate that. It's part of our adaptability strategy. It's part of why when we were all cavemen, we would see that tribe over there made a slightly better spear. They're eating more. We should make a better spear. That's part of our innate instinctual survival tendencies as humans. So you do have to work a little bit against your brain here, but just be careful. I'm not saying be a hipster, cross your arms and be like, well, this person's popular in the channel, I'm not going to follow them. It's not what I mean. I'm not saying being a child about it. Just be savvy when you consume. This time, a lot of us weren't. This isn't about shaming people who got duped. We all did, myself included, but let's learn from it. LinkedIn is a professional network. Let's keep it that way, not some AI engagement farm. Stay spicy, my friends. Let me know in the comments if you're worried about how so many of us got socially engineered so easily, what we think the next big risk is, and I would love to hear if you think this was only because of AI. I don't think it was at all. And I would suspect if that's your opinion, then you just haven't been on the internet long enough. But I don't know everything. So let me know below. Stay spicy.